Hi, I'm Leanna Chamish.
And I'm Brian St. August.
And welcome to the Actors Hot Tub. This is where we talk about what we love to do, which is acting in an intimate setting like we're sitting in a hot tub.
And today's going to be very interesting for you. We're going to talk about managing emotional content. Leanna, you and I are both dramatic actors. We do our
Yes.
comedic side and so forth, and your voiceovers, but I would say the large amount of our work, movie and TV-wise, is dramatic. How do you manage those emotional moments with your character in a credible way?
Yes, my approach has always been to really get into the character and understand what they've experienced, where they've been, what their relationship is to the person in the scene with them, imagine their whole lives, and really be in the moment. So if there is a scene where I have to express grief and sadness, I just make myself that person and have those reactions in the moment. I don't necessarily feel that I have to make myself cry. I can't cry on cue, it often happens. But I think it's okay if I don't, as long as I am really there emotionally. And actually, I think sometimes when a person is struggling to hold back tears, if the audience perceives it that way, that's very powerful as well. I don't think that I need to cry, even though it often does happen. And an important thing to think about is to make sure you don't go too overboard, because I actually had a situation. I was playing a grieving widow, and someone was playing the brother-in-law, my husband who was deceased, his brother. He just went overboard with the emotions so much, he got so worked up that he went off script, and it actually became a problem on set. So do your job, be aware on a meta level of what's going on the set around you, but be really present with the character. How do you approach it? And you know what I wanted to ask you about, because this is something he does that is really interesting with emotions. He does some, I don't know if I could do this. He does something called standardized patient work, depicting very serious real life situations. Can you explain the patient work and the emotional situations you have to portray?
Yeah, sure. Well, standardized patient work is something that's really used all over the country with a lot of medical schools that are training students, or medical systems, such as MedStar in this area, that are training and developing their actual hospital staffs. And what we do is play patients, and we play students, sometimes doctors, family members, you name it. But what helps me the most, and it's something that takes a little while to get the opportunity to do these, what we call end-of-life programs, where either you yourself are going through a multi-step situation of diagnosis to hospice and dying, or you're losing a loved one, could be a wife, could be a child, could be some very, very difficult circumstances. And I guess what's most important is very often we will be doing those episodes for people who are already doctors. So they see it as they walk out of the room. They could actually visit the experience you're giving them. So what that means for us as actors is we have to be 100% real for them to suspend their reality. And that's really important. I want to follow up on something you were saying, and it touches on this as well. I have a producer friend in California. He's very, very good. His name is Peter Singer. And whenever I am doing a role that requires this certain extra emotive effort, Peter just says, Brian, inhabit the character.
Yes.
Which is what Leanna was saying.
Right.
You take on the character. You're not Brian, you're not Leanna. You are whoever you're playing. And when those words are said to you, when the moment happens, you're reacting from their emotional base. And what's very important, and it's what Leanna also mentioned, it's critical. And it's why acting is a profession. It's not something that we just do because we want to get emotions out of our system. The professional part is you're doing what I just said, but you're managing it so that you know where your emotions are going and what your character's other reader is going to be saying, and being able to react to that. So 90% of you is inhabiting, 10% of you is watching and managing yourself. And I think that's the art in what we do.
Yeah, I think you can't really be mimicking the emotions. You really do have to be feeling them. Film is and video is an up close medium. People can read what's in your eyes. It has to be in your brain to get conveyed. Now, given that, I think some people actually do use some tricks to make themselves cry. I think I have seen people dip their fingers, rub their fingers on an onion and then touch their eyes to help them cry. And you were telling me a trick earlier?
Yeah, my daughter shared a trick with me that if you keep your eyes open for an extended period of time, don't blink, that your eyes want to lubricate themselves, and the longer you can hold out with that, the greater the opportunity is that they'll get moist and ultimately lead to tears. But you made a great point before, and I really believe it's true, is that not all highly emotional situations come to tears. Sometimes you can be very, very painfully injured emotionally and not cry.
Yes.
It's being real that's important, right?
It's true. I think we all bring our real life emotions and experiences to this, and I think we've all been in emotional situations where people didn't react like we expected. Like if it had been in a movie, what you would have scripted, people react in a multitude of ways to emotional situations, and I think there can be compelling ways to portray all of these things. So I would like to know from our audience, how do you handle emotional situations on film? And so let us know in the comments below.
And what tips you have for us?
Oh, thank you. We could use them.
Because, well, it's a learning experience from day one to the day we leave this industry. And you can help us. Maybe there's something you do, there's a technique that you bring. There's a place that you go here or here that allows you to bring those emotions into a credible focus. We want to do it too, so share with us. That's what this is about. Get in the hot tub.
That's right. Click like and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.
Bye-bye.